Hey y'all. Hey. Happy Friday. It is such a glorious Friday. It is another episode of the Connected CEO show. I am your host, Keisha. And for those who weren't able to join us last week, I'm actually streaming on two different platforms this week. So, hello to my friends in Facebook land and shout out to the folks watching on YouTube. If you happen to be catching the replay, how y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. But I'm excited about today's show. We got some information going, got some things that we're going to go through. So if you're ready, I'm ready to go ahead and get started. All right, let's make this thing do the thing. So, if you're wondering where you are, where you happen to be, this is the Connected CEO show. Like I mentioned, I'm your host, Keisha, and I will be facilitating today's conversation for you. All things DMV cannabis. And just before I get fully into the show, I just want to give a little bit of a backstory as to why I started this show. So, there have been so many folks who have, I guess, come out of the woodwork over the last couple of years, and they really want to get tapped into cannabis. As a small business entrepreneur, I know how busy things can get. So this is my offering to the folks who I can't get a chance to meet with, or folks who just really want to stay on top of what's going on. This show is about 25 to 30 minutes long. Don't hold me to it, but I've got some live Q&A towards the end, and that is when I'll get to check in with my friends who are watching me virtually. So let me go ahead, stop talking, and head on into the show. All right. So, welcome. Today's episode is all about starting a small business and getting funded. That'll be our major business theme. But if you were here last week, you know we start off with a bit of DMV cannabis news. And folks, I got some things to talk about. Specifically one thing. And so, let's go ahead and jump right into it. If you are not familiar with this particular image or Instagram post, this is by a drive-in movie theater a bit up north in Maryland. And so this was posted on their timeline earlier this morning. And so if you are reading for a comprehension, let me slide in and read it for you. So it says, "Dear valued patrons, smoking marijuana is prohibited anywhere in this theater. We strive to provide a safe and enjoyable experience for everyone who visits our theater, and smoking marijuana is a disruptive and unpleasant, I guess, experience for other patrons. Violators will leave without a refund. Cigarette smokers, as per the house rules, you must make sure your smoke is not troubling other patrons. We appreciate your cooperation on this matter. Thank you for understanding and support. Sincerely, the Benji's Drive-In Theater." So let's talk about this, right? As you all know, if you're not familiar, if you've been living under a rock, if you forgot that you voted, Marylanders voted July 1st for an adult use market. Anyone 21 and older, come July 1st, there are different stipulations, but basically you will no longer be criminalized and penalized for having cannabis in public, having cannabis on your person, as long as it's not, large amounts of cannabis. So this particular I'm just trying to point. This particular drive-in theater put it down in the ground, so 10 toes in the ground, and said, yeah, you're not able to smoke at this drive-in theater. Now, I will say this, the drive-in theater, as you know, is outdoors. People pull up in their cars. It's a novelty of American history, but it's very interesting that they would make this statement so close to July, right? We've got blockbuster movies coming out, and I do understand that cannabis smoke can be sensitive to individuals, but this is where it gets like, it says cigarette smokers, as per the house rules, you must make sure your smoke is not troubling other patrons. So Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You're prohibiting smoke as it is, I guess, cannabis smoke, right? Is I guess violating and disturbing your patrons. But cigarette smokers are still they're still available to do what they do. Now, I'm not going to talk about how cigarettes kill and how, tobacco companies have been investing in cannabis because it is a dying activity, literally, pun fully intended. So I found it very concerning that a local small business would take a stance like this in our day and age. It's an outdoor theater. I would suggest if there's someone from Benji's watching, because I am a small business consultant, we can talk for sure. Sign you up. I would probably do a little bit of PR and maybe do some 420 friendly nights where it's adults only, or no cigarette smoke. Because at the end of the day, you're alienating a huge population of folks who are just doing what they rightfully can do. So, Benji's tick tick, like, what's going on? We'll reach out to them and see if they have a comment about this. But that's wild. If you've heard about the Benji situation, be sure to let us know your thoughts wherever you get an opportunity to see us talking about this. Let's head on to our next clip. Yes, let's unmute the mic. There we go. All right, folks, this is the part of the show where we bring in our strategy. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a small business consultant. I help folks find their paths in the cannabis industry. And one of the things that I'm constantly told is that folks don't know how to get started. So, over the next few weeks, I'll be dropping some tips and tricks here and on all of the socials where you can find me about how to get started in business in cannabis, because I think we have about 50 some odd days before July 1st. I should have that's what I did last week. I'll have the date for you before the end. So start where you are. A lot of folks want to get into cannabis. And the biggest thing that they forget is that they can utilize the skills, talents, and trades that they already have. So unless you have been a horticulturalist, master grower, floor manager, store leader, GM, a lot of your skills are transferable to cannabis. But when I talk specifically to my product makers, when I talk specifically to individuals who are looking to, get a license, this is all about just starting where you are, right? There are specialized skills that you can use, but I've got some really good ways for you to kind of shortcut the journey. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. First things first, let me slide on over here. Let's get educated. There are a few different programs that you can connect with to get educated. First things first is getting educated, and then we're going to talk about getting funded. So there are a few programs that I've had personal experience with that I recommend you check out as you get acclimated in your cannabis small business journey. So first things first, shout out to Women Grow. If you're looking to get into different conferences and spaces where your pockets may not necessarily be able to help you get there and eat and stay and network and get back home, check out organizations like Women Grow, who offer scholarships and resources for conferences, networking events. Shoot, they might even be able to help you get your certifications. They are the GOATs when it comes to women in cannabis. And so I'm so excited to be able to work with them. If you follow along with my journeys, you knew that I was just in Miami for Benzinga's Capital Conference. And that was of the good hard work of Women Grow and this next organization that is absolutely top tier for me. And that is Marijuana Matters. So Marijuana Matters is a social enterprise with 3 dedicated pillars to helping alleviate the harms done by the war on drugs. So I am a proud member of their first Minorities in Cannabis boot camp with 4 other cohort members. We are called the Fab Five. And the blessing in that is that we were able to not only get connected with the resources that Marijuana Matters has built over the years, but get the proper structure, proper planning, and proper pathways to get into this industry. So one of the great opportunities that I know from my experience, and we're still steadily in this cohort. Shouts out to Courtney Davis, the ED. Shouts out to my cohort members who one is working on opening a dispensary in the South. One is working on getting funded for the North. Two are working on getting funded for the North. And then we got the superstar who just travels all around the country, in the world, and helps us get legally right. So outside of being able to make that connection, we were able to be partnered with different organizations that were showing us true business skills, everything from growth castings to finding your ideal audience to actually learning how to pitch, because that is very important when it comes to capital. And the third organization that some of my cohort members and colleagues in this industry have gone through is Our Time Academy. And basically that organization provides mentorship and foundation. So these are 3 programs. If you're looking to get educated in cannabis outside of checking out your local library, which may have an entrepreneur or small business program, these are 3 top-tier organizations to check out. When you get funded, it's time to get connected. So 3 memberships that I recommend you getting your information or even getting started with is 1, the Minority Cannabis Business Association. MCBA holds it down when it comes to getting in the room, when it comes to getting the information that's needed, and also the connections, right? You know, I live in the Baltimore region, and folks like to call Baltimore Smaltimore, which it truly is, right? But the best thing about getting connected in these associations and memberships are that you are able to use the folks who have gone through that path before you as a resource. The Connected Mastermind is our membership organization, which we'll talk about as the episodes go through. And then, of course, the National Cannabis Industry Association, NCIA, is a great organization to get tapped in, especially if you're interested in the political arena. All right. Steps to funding. All right. If you have not been paying attention at all the entire episode, before we go on this commercial break, I want you to understand there are steps to funding. And these might not all happen in the same order, but I'm giving you a bit of a guide and a pathway to make sure and ensure that you are prepared for the money that is going to come your way. Because the worst thing, let me tell you, the worst thing about being prepared for capital and for funding is not having all of your ducks in a row, right? You don't have your business bank account. You don't have a business plan. I mean, there are very small, but also necessary things that help you on your way to building a great business. So let's talk about funding. Developing a solid business plan. Being a part of memberships and associations could really help you with, say, a template, something that is very geared to what you're trying to do, and also colleagues to look over it. So first things first, you want to develop a solid business plan. Second thing is you want to identify potential investors, right? Now, the money in cannabis is slow. Right? It's small because a lot of states are waiting for adult use. A lot of license holders have to repay those debts, right? And a lot of folks just, the money is funny, right? It's funny economically all over. So being able to target your potential investors, whether they are providing investment in cash, whether they're providing investment in mentorship, or if they're just adding collateral to your business, this is the way. Making sure you identify the folks who are able to put those resources, that capital, that knowledge, and flush it into your business. The third thing is consider crowdfunding. Like I mentioned, money is tight in this alternative industry, right? So using your community, using your networks is the best way to get tapped into some money that, you know, $1,000 here may be great, $1,000 there may be awesome. So, and you never know, $500, $200, you never know what a crowdfunding campaign around a product, a service, or just your brand and the goals and visions that you have will take you. In line with that, apply for grants. Your local chambers, your local associations, your local state and regional development centers. Shoot, our governor's got money set aside. I can't wait to tap into that grant pool. But that is another way to get funding into your business. You never know if that $500 grant could turn into a $3,000 flush of cash that will get you right to that next step. Um, Second to last is joining an incubator or an accelerator program. I've got a list of those coming, but those are great ways to shore up your foundation, build out your network, and really get prepared for the industry. And speaking of being prepared, the last thing I love to talk about is being prepared for regulatory challenges. The sucky thing about cannabis is that it's regulated. The great thing about cannabis is that it's regulated. So being prepared for those changes, for example, in July, I say with less than 50 days. Let me check the date before I start guessing. How many days until July 1st? I'm going to put up a 50 days. Woo, y'all, 50 days until July 1st. Can you believe it? I can't. But anything and everything can change regulatory, because while our bill has passed in Maryland, our framework is still being shaped. We can know what to expect, but we don't know what to expect. So be prepared for those challenges, be prepared for those changes, because at the end of the day, cannabis is just like a roller coaster. We're going to have some good crescendos up and some steep drops. But if we hold on tight, hold on together, ask a friend how it is, we can get through this together. So starting strong and getting funded, these are the steps to get to that. Let's slide into DMV culture. We've got some events coming up if you're looking to get tapped in. First things first, this is something for my social folks. We've got Loud Vibes, who is friend of friend for sure. Friend Love Abby. She's got a small business where she's been running just an amazing expression of her artistic talents, and super dope, right? Say no more. It's just super dope. So this weekend, she's got a puff and pour coming up tomorrow. Or I guess on Sunday, she's got a Mother's Day puff and paint. So bring your moms out. And the one that I'm looking forward to is the May 22nd date, which is the glow in the dark puff and pour. She's got some amazing sponsors behind her. The actual event is great. I got an opportunity to attend around 420, and I'm super excited to support her and the organization as a whole. So if you're looking for something to do, you don't want to have to deal with all the ruckus, this is where you need to go. Next up is our good friends at the MJ Connect. Their long-awaited 2023 Maryland CBD infused cook-off is coming. It's coming May 21st. It's from 6 to 9 or 6:30 to 9:30, give or take, in Catonsville, Maryland. Tickets are on sale. And if you're looking for an experience where you and a friend can come out and taste some really good infused CBD infused foods, get to meet some of the community chefs and chefs that are around, and also, get connected. I'm excited. I'll be there live. Terrell was on our community kickback show, the CannaFam kickback show, earlier this month or last month, right? So we're excited. We should be giving away some tickets coming up soon. So I'm going to tap in with him. And if you're going to be there, be sure to say, hey, I can't wait. Maybe I'll get you on camera. And then, of course, I mentioned our mastermind. Our first meeting for May is coming up. It's 11 to 2. That is a Tuesday. So it is in person and virtual. If you're looking to connect, to collaborate, to get connected with folks who are in the community, come on out. We'll be at the Impact Hub, which is EMC HQ. And like I mentioned, we'll have a virtual setup. It'll be a lunch and learn. We'll be talking about what you can expect in July and ways that we can connect and build, especially if you're looking to get situated for licensure. So those are the events coming up. I know that I'm missing a few, but I'll make sure that I do a separate events reel for folks who are looking to get connected. Before I roll out, because we're at 21 minutes, I got Q&A right now. So let me go ahead, take a sip of this tea that has just been sitting here, and then I'll answer some questions. See who came through. Oh, hey, Wajia, thank you so much for coming through. I was very surprised about Benji and the cigarette smoke. If folks are tuning in at this point, if you just kind of skip to the end, Benji was wild. All right. I don't know why this we going like I said, we're gonna get a comment from them for sure. Shouts out to my cousin for watching. I cannot wait to come back and visit folks. And then Fingerboard Farm and Market is an amazing small business in our state. I am absolutely coming to visit soon because I saw some things that you have coming up that may excite some of our home cultivators coming up July 1st. So I can't wait to get more information about that. And of course, thank you so much for tuning in. I gotta tap in with you for sure. Good luck on your test. That is the Q&A. I see some folks. If you are live, if you have questions, be sure to let me know. I'm actually probably going to clip this part of the show out because we're still building and still growing. But I do want to show you a few things. If you are looking for a community to connect with, you can join our weekly newsletter. It comes out. It's called Inside the Ecosystem. We are giving you all of the deets. We go more in detail than we do on the show. But if you want to get connected, if you want to know what's trending, if you just want to be a part of what is happening in this scene, go ahead and sign up. I will place the banner here. If you're looking to join the list, you can join the list. Go on Bitly, ITE News. Yes. I'll also probably do a separate breakout for that. We learning and growing, folks, learning and growing. So I'm very excited because this is something that I've wanted to do for a while. Like I mentioned, a lot of folks really want to get tapped into what's going on in cannabis. And I think that, why not me? Why not be able to share this information? Plus, I'm always on the go. And I want to make sure that folks who want to check me out at an event, all the events that I've shown you today are going to be, I'll be there in person. So if you're looking for a buddy, if you're looking for someone to say hey to, that will be me, of course. I think this is a great place to kind of stop the show for today, but I'm very, very thankful and happy for the folks that have tuned in. I see the love live, and I'll see y'all next week. Next week, we have some wrap-ups. My birthday is actually next week, so Friday's episode will probably be recorded because I am traveling. But if I'm able to get live with you all, I'll be here. So on that note, I hope you all have an amazing Friday. It is warm here in the area that I'm in. I hope it is warm where you are. And I'll see you soon. Peace.